Let's talk about clutter. What does the word clutter make you think of? I think about both physical clutter and also mental clutter because I seriously feel these days like there's a lot of clutter scattered around in my brain. Both physical and mental clutter will block your creativity, right? If you have things in your space that are a distraction or that feel like they're sucking energy out of the room or out of your workspace, and you don't feel like you can be very creative there, or if you have mental clutter, just a running list of things you have to do, places you have to be, things you have to shop for your house, your kids, birthday gifts. It's like women tend to carry the weight of the needs of the family, the household on their shoulders and in their brains. And for me, that feels like clutter. So when I hear the word clutter, I also think, let's declutter. Like I love organizing, decluttering. First, you have to declutter before you can get organized. And that happens mentally too. When you can do that, declutter both your physical and mental clutter, that can help you live a more aligned, balanced life and improve your business, your quality of life, and your PR career, whether you own an agency or not. So that's what we're going to talk about. When you create space in your life with more physical space, more flow in your workspace, and more mental bandwidth, you open up room for clarity, for that creativity to come back that we talked about in last week's episode, and for you to feel that level of success again, not just in your business, but in how you show up for yourself. It is such an all-consuming thing that you might deal with on a daily basis, this clutter in your mind or clutter in your space that you might not even know is taking away from your quality of life, from your ability to be creative, to be focused. So we're going to talk about decluttering because it can have such a tremendous impact on all aspects of your life. And it feels like a good time to do that. We're settled into the new year. A lot of people have seen, especially in LA since the fires, so many people talked about leaving home with just the clothes on their back. They did not have time to think about all of their stuff. And sadly, so many people returned with nothing to go home to. They returned to their homes with nothing left. And I've heard so many of these, victims of the fire talk about how when they rebuild, they're going to be intentional. They are going to buy things that they need and not buy just to buy. They want to be intentional and strategic about what they bring back into their lives. And I think it also has shown other people who didn't go through that horribly devastating situation, even having to evacuate and pack a go bag. I was like, I have so much stuff to sort through here. Where's my wedding photo album? I found the box, but I couldn't find the actual photo album. I have a box with all of our, a fireproof box with our passports and our marriage certificate and our birth certificates and other documents, our trust. And I happen to know where that is because that's the bare minimum of fire preparedness that I had actually done. So I was able to grab that, but I'm stepping over things, half-finished projects and things that I don't know what to do with them. They don't have a home, and it's kind of taking energy away from other things. When you're a stuff shuffler, tell me if that resonates. You're like, where does this go? I'm going to move it over here. And then a couple days later, you shuffle it to make room for something else. If it doesn't have a home, then it's clutter. Okay? So physical and mental clutter will weigh you down. It makes it harder for you to focus on what truly matters. And that could be landing a dream client or really spending quality time with your family because you're too busy. This is me right now because I'm in this big decluttering phase trying to figure out. Now, I mentioned in last week's episode, I got new office furniture, a new desk, have a new bookcase right there. I wonder if I can show you. Swiveling. It's very pretty. And then I have another matching one on the other side. I have a new cabinet over there. But now that I'm set and I know what storage I have and what storage I don't, I know what I can fit, what will have a home, and what won't. So I feel very inspired to get back to spending quality time with my family rather than saying, I actually have to get some things organized today. Like after our hike, I need to get home and get some things organized, or I can't spend all that time at my son's tennis tournament because I don't know how long it's going to be. And I have to be doing some work in my home office or in my kitchen. And so it has taken me away from quality time with my family. And also, all of this clutter will take away from your ability to nurture your creativity. And when you create open flow in your space, physically create space by not having so many things crammed in. Even, when you have to put a shirt back in your closet and you're shoving it in and all the clothes are, there's too many hangers on the rack and you're opening and the hanger breaks and you're like, oh my God, now you don't have a hanger because you're maxed out on hangers and you're just me? No way. Can't just be me, right? And then I go and I take a hanger from my husband's closet and he's like, you took my hanger. I know when I left there was a hanger. And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, it's not good, right? And when you have clothes that easily slide and you can see what you have and putting them away is so easy, that's when you feel a lightness. It's easy to get ready. It's easy to keep things clean because everything has a place. Everything has a home. Okay, so we're going to walk through some ways that you can declutter your home, your mental state. The first thing I want you to do is sort through your wardrobe. And this could be however you like to do it. I actually have 2 very inexpensive garment racks. They were under $10 on one's from Amazon, one's from Target. And I will move them into my space and I will hang things up that I pull out that I know for sure that I want to keep. And then I'll start to organize them on the rack so that I can put them back in the closet in the right spot. But you're going to go through your wardrobe, whether you do it in sections, if it's all of your socks and your underwear and your bras or all of your swimsuits, or if you truly are one of those, like, I'm going to take the entire day, pull everything out, vacuum, dust, start from scratch, and only things I love will go back. Whatever your preference, however you work, there's so many different ways to do it. I personally love Dana K. White. She has a podcast called A Slob Comes Clean. She thinks the way that I think, which is very scattered and very like ADD, whatever pops in her brain, she says it. And her no mess decluttering method is only progress, never worse, always better. So you start with trash. You immediately get rid of things in your space that are garbage, it's easy. It's all about that decision fatigue, whatever you can do to eliminate the weight of those decisions, because every item you touch, everything you pick up is a decision. Do I keep this? Do I not? Where does this go, right? So eliminating decision fatigue and getting to a place where the work you're doing only improves. It never, because I will take everything out and then I'll get distracted and then I'll leave it. And I'll say, whenever I have time, because I'm not going to put it back unless it's quote unquote perfect. So her no mess decluttering method is trash, donations, things that are super obviously donations, get them out, get them off to where they're going to go. And then when you come to an item and you have to make decisions, you ask yourself, where's the first place I would look for this? If I needed this, would it even occur to me that I had this? Because sometimes you won't even remember you had something, you put it away and you never think to look for it. And then you buy a duplicate or whatever. So you can put something where you're going to think to look for it first, not where should it go? What's the first thing that pops into your mind? Where would I look for this first? If I needed this, where would I look for it first? And then you put it there. And it's take it there now. That's another thing she really preaches and everyone gets mad. Like if I stop, I'm going to make piles and I'll bring everything at once. She is like, nope, no piles. Take it there now. And so that's the difference, is like you're working a little bit at a time. And I like that method because it makes me feel like I'm not going to do one of these, pull everything out, get distracted, and then live with piles for 3 weeks before I find time to quote unquote make it perfect. Okay. So first thing you're going to do here with your closet clean out is sort through your wardrobe, get rid of things that you haven't worn in some period of time. A year is a good amount of time because it assumes you've gone through all of the seasons. And so if you've had winter and you didn't reach for this thick, itchy wool sweater, even though you've been through the cold of winter, you probably won't reach for it, right? Or if you have had summer and you went on vacation and you packed 3 swimsuits, but you have 7 and you don't really wear those other 4, are you going to use it again? And you can donate your items that are in good condition. And I want to stress this because of anything we have seen with these fires in Los Angeles, people who are quote unquote donating are actually just offloading their garbage. And I have friends who have worked at donation centers, stores that are offering people to come and shop other people's donations. And they're sorting through garbage, stained clothes, ripped, things with holes, moth-eaten. And it's clear that this is trash. And people are like, oh, I donated. They don't want your cast off garbage. They want especially somebody who has gone through a true identity shaking event, like losing everything that they own, things that you've curated your whole life, memories, your wardrobe that you've curated, that top that makes you feel amazing, that outfit you put on and you're going to feel like a showstopper. And then you go to, get some generous donations and you're sorting through people's garbage. It's dehumanizing. And so do not use this as an opportunity to cast off your unwearable items. If that's the case, look for a place that will take recycling. There's a lot of stores like H&M where you go and you bring them your stuff. They will recycle it through their textile manufacturers and they will give you a discount. I don't know what it is, maybe 20% on an item when you bring in your things that you want to donate. So don't donate your truly garbagey discards to people in need or to an organization where you think they're going to sort through it and do something with it. Keep only pieces that you really love, that you feel good in, that fit you. Don't keep aspirational sizes. It just looks at you like, you don't fit me anymore. I had to finally say, you know what? I'm not that size of jeans anymore. I need the next size up. And I'm not going to hold on to that size because, well, A, the jeans in my size probably are all skinny jeans and they're not really in style. So why am I going to hold on to them? And B, it's just taunting me saying, you know what? You're not going to be this size anymore because now you're older and your body changed and you had kids and it's just different, right? So get rid of the things that clutter up your space and make it hard to get ready, that make it hard to quote unquote shop your closet, that make it feel like you're guilty for spending the money on something that you feel like, well, I haven't gotten the use out of it or this was expensive. The money's already spent, right? You feel this like scarcity mindset of like, well, this was expensive and what if I need it? If you haven't needed it until now or you've used it a lot, pass it on to somebody if it's in good shape who can also get some use out of it. Keep the pieces that make you feel good, that you know how to coordinate in your wardrobe, that are easy to put together, that feel like your current style. And when you create space in your closet, it's easier to keep it organized. It's easier to put things away. It's easier to see what you have. There's not a bunch of things stuffed in the back. Another thing that I did that is incredibly helpful is I got these really inexpensive motion sensor lights that are magnetic on Amazon, and they come with these sticky magnets so that you can put them anywhere you want, and they just stick to the wall vertically upside down. And when you walk in the closet, they just go on, and all you do is recharge them when they stop working. And it's truly been a game changer because now I can see everything in my closet, and I can see the stuff that was all the way in the back. And half of it, I'm like, why did I hold on to this for so long? The other half, I'm like, why haven't I worn this in so long? So that's a really helpful investment. It's under, $25 for 4 of these really bright LED lights that can easily be recharged, very environmentally friendly, doesn't use, you're not throwing out batteries and whatnot. And having a clutter-free space helps you feel lighter. It'll help you feel more present. It will enable you to approach your pitching, your strategies, client work, proposals with more focus, more energy, more clarity, and creativity, right? I would also say spend some time decluttering your office. Go through all of your pens. If you're like me, I love pens. I love all the, stationary things. Get rid of pens that are out of ink, that, as soon as something comes into your vision that you are aware is broken or not useful, or it's just taking up space, don't say, well, I'll get rid of that next time I XYZ. No, just move that out of your space immediately. Declutter that item immediately so you don't have to think about it again. It's like a 2-second decision. And then also, I am working towards a fully digital space where any pages and papers that come in that are important, I'll scan them and save them and get rid of physical paper, because I have this huge file cabinet that's full of, I don't even know what, stuff from 20 plus years ago. I don't need all of those documents, and I'm using a big amount of space, and it's all shoved in, and it just feels cumbersome. And that whole thing feels like a weight in my space. So I want it to be lighter. So I'm working towards scanning things or not printing when things come in as a scan. If you can prevent printing, that's a great way to kind of go about it, because you don't actually really need to have all these physical papers anywhere. A digital detox, I always strive for inbox zero. And so one way that I was able to do that was creating a promotions folder that literally in Gmail just looks for the word unsubscribe, because technically, like most emails, marketing emails and things like that will have an unsubscribe button versus an email that comes from a client or it comes from someone on your team. Delete unnecessary emails. It's clogging up space, and we just keep paying for more and more storage. I have storage on Dropbox I'm paying for. I have storage on Apple that I'm paying for. I have storage on Google that I'm paying for. And I think there's also like a Microsoft something that I'm paying for, because I get a bill every month. So that might be my storage through like my Word documents and stuff like that. It's a lot. You're paying for things that you're not using. I just got a new computer, and then I had to return it because the storage was not enough. When I tried to transfer everything over, mind you, I've been running my business for 20 years. I plugged it, not plugged, but I got the 2 computers talking to each other. I have an iMac and I got a new iMac. The new one was like, no way. No, you have way too much. So what I think Apple is doing, because it maxes out at like 512, something like that, gigabytes, I think they're encouraging you to store in the cloud and you pay for ongoing storage. But for me, it's like this dead weight that I'm carrying around year after year, old client files. What I do is I will back everything up in a time machine backup. And then at the end of the year, I take that hard drive, mine's right here. It's a little, probably 3 terabyte hard drive. And I'll put a label on it and I'll say 2024 archive. And so that goes in technically it should go in the fireproof box because it's the whole backup of my computer. But should anything happen, so many things are saved to Apple ID and in the cloud. But if for some reason something happens and I need a full backup of what I had the entire year of 2024, I have my old hard drive from the previous year as an archive. And so I just save those and I get a new one every year. They're under $100 for a couple terabytes on Amazon. And that way I'm keeping a backup and I can get things off of my hard drive. Another thing I just did is I looked at my podcasts, like the podcasts app. I had no idea, but I had downloaded thousands of podcasts. I never did. There were podcasts I've never even heard of. I don't know how that happened, but I went in and I deleted all those downloads and I saved myself 250 gigabytes of hard drive space. In fact, I went to record this podcast episode and midway through my QuickTime player and recording, thing that I'm using shut off and it just said no disk space. And I'm going, oh my God. So I had to start all the way over. And I went in and figured out where all the clutter was. This is literally clutter. It's weighing you down. It's keeping you from being efficient and effective. And it costs you money. It slows things down. It slows you down. A lot of it was in podcast downloads. So that was pretty easy. But I have like 100,000 images and videos in my iPhotos, or what do they call it now? Photos. Because since having kids 15 years ago, you sure take a lot of pictures and every picture is so cute. You couldn't possibly choose one of these 20 pictures of your baby doing the exact same thing. So you're just going to keep them. All of that photo clutter keeps you from being able to see what's truly good and what's important and to be able to create albums so that you can just look at the best memories. I create a photo grid, like a poster, every 2 years. They're hanging in my house and I do it on, I'm going to forget the name of the site. I create those, those best of the year images. I think I can do about 54 in the grid. And something that should take me 20 minutes takes me hours because I have not effectively managed all of my photos to see what are the best ones. And I'm putting together a video montage for my son for his upcoming bar mitzvah. And I don't even know where all the best photos are. I don't even have them all. So if you have a better photo management system, then you're able to do things and enjoy your photos a lot more than if you just take a million, you never edit them, and you just keep paying for storage. This is what I'm doing. More storage, more storage. One thing I will suggest, if you are like me and you are so bogged down with photos, it feels overwhelming to actually edit anything down. What I would recommend doing is when you're at the doctor's office or waiting at the DMV or waiting to pick up your kids in carpool line, go to your photos, type in the date. So today's date minus the year, and it will pull up all of your pictures you have from every year on that date. And you can go through just those pictures and start editing, deleting, favoriting, putting into folders. And hopefully it doesn't take you too long and you get through that date of the year. And if you can do this or carve time out to do this, maybe while you're watching a TV show and you're sort of mindlessly doing this, by the end of the year, you should have a fully cleaned up, streamlined photos app and photo storage. I've been doing this. I have skipped some days, but it really helps because you feel like it is a lot more manageable than having to go through and work backwards and then you forget where you are. So search up by the day. Don't put the year. And so that's, when I'm recording this, whatever, January something, I would put that in and I would look at every photo, every video from that date and just start deleting them and favoriting with a little heart. This is if you're on Apple, and manage it that way. Okay. The other thing is getting rid of unnecessary emails, unsubscribing from spam and newsletters that no longer serve you. This will save you money too, because if you're getting marketing emails and there's a sale and there's that scarcity mindset and you're like, oh, I like this. I don't love it, but it's on sale. This is me, very guilty of this. Love a sale, right? If you're not getting those marketing emails, then you are not going to know when things are on sale and you will save money. I promise you. So I try to click unsubscribe from 10 things every single day, at least. And I will go through at some point in my day and look at my promotions folder. Remember, I set it up in Google so that if it says unsubscribe, it goes in that folder. I will look for the word unsubscribe on content I know I don't want to see again, and I will get rid of it and never see it again. The other thing too, review your apps on your phone, delete any platform, any app that you no longer use in your PR workflow. If you tested Monday or Slack or Basecamp or any of these tools and you didn't like it, we use Airtable, but I had Monday. I had to delete Monday and all of the data that was stored in that. Any other platforms you have that you're no longer using, get rid of them. You might even be paying for some things that you don't know, like a repeated annual subscription. Turn off non-essential notifications so that you can focus on your priorities. Right now, I have the Focus app set on my computer so that I don't get interrupted while I'm recording my podcast. And that's great because I know I can get through, and I can also set people as VIPs so that if they try to interrupt me, like if it's my kid's school or my husband with something important, those messages I'll still get. The other thing is your digital clutter. It just slows you down. You're carrying it from computer to computer, device to device. Everything's synced. It's all in the cloud. You're paying for that storage. There's things you just don't need. So when you do your backup at the end of the year and you have your annual archive, you take your hard drive, put with a label, 2024 archive. I don't even call it a backup. I call it an archive, right? Then you can get rid of things, old client folders that you're not going to need. You don't have to keep those just in case. You can go reference for the one time a year you might need it, pull out that archive and look for it on the backup. That simplified digital workspace will support better communication, a feeling of flow, help you have faster response times. You can find things when you need them. Have a naming convention. This is the stuff that I did not learn in law. I had an assistant that did everything like this for me. So I never learned how to save files so that I was coming up with new names. What am I going to remember about this? Have a naming convention. So my new thing that I've been doing for about a year, and it makes everything so much easier to find, is I will start with the year. I will do the year and I'll 2024 dash, let's say 2025 -01 for January. And then I will put whatever that is. And then the last thing will be the client reference or whatever reference I will need if I need to think of something. Whether it's personal and it's about my kid, I'll say, 2025 -01 school report card, Ryan. Because I don't want to look for a bunch of files that say Ryan. I want that to be the last thing. So if I type Ryan, but if I'm looking and it's condensed, I can see school report card or whatever. And then I put folders and I'll put the date on the folders. So then it's easy and to see it all chronologically. And I think for me, that's the best way to remember versus alphabetical, chronologically, and try to remember when I created a file or when I worked on something and easily go back to that time in my Dropbox and be able to find things. So have a consistent file and folder naming convention that you use all the time. It has saved me so much time from having to think every time I go to save, okay, what am I calling this? What is going to help me remember? Where am I putting this? So all of that ends up just saving time in those decisions you have to make. Let's talk about organizing your life to support your business, because a well-organized life is going to create a foundation for you to run your business with ease and while being intentional and not feeling like you're constantly in reactive mode, but you get to be proactive with ideas, with ways that you grow your business, bring in your dream clients, service your clients. If you're constantly having to remember all of these other aspects about your life and how things are getting done, that's what takes away from what's going to fuel that creativity, that fire, that passion, and that flow state I talk about where you're not constantly distracted with all of the other things that are constantly on your mind, that kind of mental baggage that we're all thinking about, millions of things running through our brain that weigh us down. If you've ever read David Allen's Getting Things Done, which is like the go-to book on all things, organizing and getting clarity around systems in your home and your business, he constantly reminds us that our brain is not a repository of things that you have to remember, like a to-do list, but it should be clear and open for idea generation so that you are relying on systems that you put into place to keep the things you're trying to remember top of mind. Well, they just get handled so that you're not cluttering your mind with your to-do list, but keeping that open space, that decluttered mind free for idea generation and creativity. So some actionable steps for you. You can set up systems for financial clarity. Things happen the same timeline every year. Taxes are the same day, if not 1 or 2 days different every single year. For financial clarity, you can set up a tax folder, something that you keep for each calendar year. You have it stored in your business or personal, or you put both in the same one and call it taxes, and just make sure every donation, every contractor invoice, all of the things you want to keep receipts for, you can scan them and put them in that folder so that you don't have to keep physical paper clutter of the receipt itself, and just have one place that you're putting every single thing that relates to taxes. If it's I just got a K1 form, 1099K from one of my payment processors. Clients are sending, it's that time of year, they are sending 1099 NECs, like things that you need to keep track of. Rather than having all these papers, you can put it in a folder on your desktop or, in your Dropbox so that you have all of your tax documents you're going to need every single year, and also set a reminder in your calendar to generate your 1099s for your contractors so that you don't forget to do that, because there could be a penalty around that. You should also set up a subscription audit on like a quarterly basis, because so many of the businesses that are selling you products, if it's a vitamin, a supplement, a makeup item, skincare, whatever it is, or even on Amazon, there is a discount if you subscribe. And then you hit that discount because you want to save on that first order, and then you forget to cancel it. And if you're like me, you will get 200 packets of like hydration powder that just shows up on your credit card and your doorstep because you forgot to cancel a subscription. So have a regular subscription audit, create daily habits for organizing your workspace, whether that's clearing your desk every day or updating your project management system. For me, it is, I like to write things down and check them off and kind of see what my priority was. So I have my folder in here, my journal that I use, the Full Focus Planner, and I will keep it in the drawer so it looks nice and clean. But before I put it away for the night, I will reflect on the day and I will add some things for tomorrow that are my priorities so I get them out of my head. So I'm not ruminating all night trying to sleep, and I'm still in my mind remembering the things that are important for the following day. Spend 5 minutes before you close down for the day, before you leave your office, to set yourself up for success the next day. That goes towards that habit of organizing your workspace, entering it into your calendar if you want to do this, where you block the time for the tasks that are going to fuel your personal growth. That could be your morning routine where you're journaling. Maybe you have a gratitude journal and you do 3 things in the morning and the evening. Maybe it is planning your goals where you revisit them consistently. If you plan your goals at the end of the previous year or at the beginning of the current year and you write them down and then you never look at them again, they're nothing more than a journal entry. It is not a goal. You have to actually revisit them and keep your why top of mind. Why is this a goal? Why is this important? Why do I want to work so hard towards this thing? Because it's going to get hard. But if you remember the why, what is driving me here? What is the thing that's energizing me to keep at it when it's hard? Whether that's setting a good example for your kids or building something that will bring in the income to help your family rebuild your home or create a vacation, memories on a vacation. We love experiences. My family is all about gifts that are experiences. So reminding yourself, the big why here is because when this project ends and it's successful, I'm taking the family to Europe or something because we will have saved enough money to do it. Whatever that looks like for you. But having that big why top of mind when you revisit your goals and you actually block the time in your calendar to plan the goals and put them in as tasks, that's how it will actually get done. When your personal life is organized, you're better equipped to manage these client interruptions, client work, meet deadlines, take on bigger opportunities, and do it confidently because you know that you have the bandwidth to do things because you're not weighed down with a running tab in your head of all of the things that you have to take care of. You've set up these systems, you've put your items that you use consistently, like pet food, diapers, wipes, baby food, weekly groceries that you guys know you need every single week. You put all of that on autopilot with Amazon subscriptions. Listen, love, hate Amazon. Do not love how they are taking out so many wonderful small businesses. But I know at this point, I couldn't live without it. Just the ease and convenience. Last night, I ordered filters for water filtration system that I need. We use it every single day and it stopped working because all of the filters were no longer working. And so I ordered that. I ordered dog food. I ordered so many just random things and they all showed up the same day that night. So I ordered in the morning and they were on my doorstep by 5 p.m. I mean, the convenience is amazing. If I had to go and get all of those things, I probably would be going to 3 different stores or waiting a long time to have our filtered water because I would order from the manufacturer and it would take 2 weeks to get here. So I know Amazon is tricky. Try to group your deliveries so that you're not delivering one pen in a huge box with a bunch of stuffing, but you tell it you want fewer deliveries and it might extend the deliveries to a different, day, but at least it's coming in fewer boxes and reduces the carbon footprint somewhat. Target will do that. Walmart will do that just so that you don't say, well, I need this thing immediately. It's like you don't need it immediately. Just group it together so that you get everything in one delivery versus 5 separate packages. But this is when you are automating things to save you time and effort. Look at your habits and say, what is so repetitive and predictable that I know I'm going to need to do this? That's when you schedule your dentist appointments when you're at the previous appointment, because sometimes it's so hard to get the next appointment because they're so booked up and you'll forget and you don't put it in your calendar. So when they say, would you like to book your next appointment? The answer is always yes. Schedule the next one while you're sitting there. You can always change it, but you're going to have an easier time and you're going to remember for your kids and yourself that you have that appointment if you book it then. And then as the date gets closer, you look at your calendar, you say, oh, it's in the calendar, but I have a conflict, and you can call them and change it. But always take up that offer to book the appointment while you're there. Just try to make things easy, as much thinking that you can eliminate all of the day-to-day tasks and the mundane and all the stuff that we as women have to remember for our families. If you can eliminate so much of that by automating things, then you are going to have a lot more bandwidth for creative inspiration and thinking. Something to reflect on. Here's a prompt for you. What specific steps can you take this week to simplify your life so you can show up stronger for your clients and for yourself? So what can you simplify that will free up some time for you? Think of tasks you do that are repetitive and you're doing them all the time. Maybe it's replying to a new business inquiry and you're saying the same thing over and over. If you haven't created a templated response, which you can do in Gmail, save it as a signature, you're wasting time. Every single thing can be created as a system. And in fact, my team and I are working on an agency API, which is going to be agency accelerator process integration. It's a fancy way of saying we're going to build an automated system for you. Plug and play, all the things that you need to know, need to remember, all in one place, automations firing, all set up for you. Agency API, we are building this because you should not have to think of these things constantly. And we think that we can help you not have to think about how to automate all of these things for yourself. Automations will save you so much time, so much money, so much effort and energy, life-changing, okay? So whatever you can automate, that's how you can simplify. So here's a reflection prompt again. What specific steps can you take this week to simplify your life so you can show up stronger for your clients and yourself? Where can you ask for help from your family, your partner, your children, your friends, your team? Where are you trying to do it all where you really don't need to? Another thing as it relates to decluttering is letting go of distractions. This is simplifying your distractions so you can focus on what truly matters. It'll allow you to prioritize the work and the relationships that align with your greater values and goals. So I have a quick checklist for you to think of here. The focus elimination checklist. Identify those commitments that no longer serve you, that don't contribute to your bigger vision, that don't excite you, they don't lift you up. You maybe said yes out of guilt. If that commitment no longer serves you, say no to it. And you don't owe anyone an excuse or explanation. Also, identify the habits that no longer serve you and find a way to change those habits. It could be scrolling on social media. TikTok may be here, maybe not. It went away for a little bit and now it's kind of back. Maybe you found yourself a little more productive during those hours TikTok was banned. It could be, for me, it was kind of doom scrolling the Watch Duty app during the fires to see what was happening. We spent a lot of time on that. It just, that felt more like a life or death. I'm tracking my family, my brother, my in-laws, my house, my kids, like making sure everyone's safe. But that is a huge time suck. Is it you're binge watching, brain rot TV? You want to say no to projects, clients, tasks, things that drain your energy and they don't align with your goals. It's a very easy no when you know what your goals are. If something doesn't align and match that goal, it's like, a heck no. Like, no, there's no point for me to do this, right? If you have a lot of clients that are draining your energy, then you may have boundaries issues or a scope creep problem. And we talk about this a lot and how to prevent it in a way where your clients don't feel like you're saying to them that you're limiting your access to you. If you join us in the Agency Accelerator, we will help you take care of that because I believe that boundaries and setting those boundaries are the key to having that work-life integration that we all are seeking and that I really talk about a lot. It's incredibly important. And then also scope creep. This happens a lot in projects or limited time projects that you're handling or, very short retainer projects. When you have a 3-month PR campaign, that's nothing. That's not enough time. And what will happen is you start to send a pitch after you've worked with the client, figured out their goals and objectives, created a strategy, created a pitch list, wrote your pitch, sent your pitches. Oh, the project's over. 3 months is up. Now all the responses start coming in, or now's when you would need to do all the follow-up. And you think, well, I'm not going to leave this editor hanging because they're interested. And I know I'm not really getting paid for this anymore because it was a project and the project ended. But let me turn over this contact to my client because they can handle it themselves. Well, now you're getting rid of a personal connection. You have no idea what the client's going to do with that editor, but also that's your proprietary media contact relationship, right? And you're just giving it away or you're not getting that outcome that you worked so hard to get. So a lot of times we'll say, well, I just want that press win, so I'm going to keep at it. And now there's scope creep and you're working for free. So that's why we talk about boundaries and scope creep and how to price your services and all of that. We got you in Agency Accelerator. Reassess here how you spend your time. Are you prioritizing activities that are energizing and bring joy and spending time with people that fuel you and light you up? My best friend, Erica, is a ray of sunshine. She's always happy. She's always positive. She always remembers what you're up to, what your kids are up to, so-and-so was sick. How are they? You had that meeting. How did it go? Like, she's amazing. And she has a million friends, and she is as thoughtful and considerate to all of her friends. She's got friends from every stage, every, aspect of her life. It's a gift. I mean, this is her gift. She's wonderful. But being around her is energizing. I want to spend all the time with her that I can because I feel happy when I'm with her. Even if she's like, do you want to go grab a cocktail with me? Well, I don't drink. Drinking when you get older feels horrible. It interrupts your sleep. I love my sleep. You feel awful. I used to love wine. I've never been a huge drinker, but even just like a cocktail or two makes me feel terrible. It makes me feel so bleh. But I will go and meet her and we can get some appetizers and drink Diet Coke or water, whatever. She can have whatever, it's like, everybody can do what they want. It's just my body does not thrive with a sip of alcohol. It's terrible. So I don't drink. But if she invites me for a drink, I will go and I will hang and we'll have appetizers, happy hour, chit chat. And I don't need a drink. It's fine. But I feel energized when I'm around that person. Identify the energy givers and the energy vampires in your life and bring your best self. When you are with these people, you feel energized, you're focusing on that, prioritizing people and activities that bring you joy and energy. That's when you can bring your best self to pitches and your new business development calls and creative strategies you're developing for your clients. And also clients can be energy vampires as well. And you can tell for the most part, you can tell in the courtship phase, the proposal phase, if they're going to suck the life out of you. You can tell. And if you feel like they're going to be high maintenance, not happy, never satisfied types of clients, you can price that into your services. If you feel like they're going to be a total drain on your team, both mentally, physically, time-wise, all of that, build that into your proposal because I call it a pain in the ass tax. Everyone does it. You should do it too. And the reflection prompt for this one is, what is one distraction that you can remove from your life today? One distraction, whether that's deleting an app from your phone where you spend a lot of time. You can look at your time usage on your phone and it will tell you where you are spending the bulk of your time. If you're shopping on a certain app, you're wasting time and money. Delete the app and see how much time you get back and how much money you save. What is one distraction you can remove from your life today? And are you spending enough time on the people and the projects that inspire you? Identify those people that you want to be connected to more, spend more time with, that energize you, that make you feel seen. They make you feel like they care about the work you're doing or they care about you and your life. And you leave those interactions and you feel great about yourself. We all have those people we interact with and we're like, what was that? Like, I went to dinner. I didn't get a word in edgewise. That person didn't ask me a single question about myself, which is fine, but they're talking about themselves the whole time. They're talking trash about other people. Oh my God, I feel like I need to come home and take a shower. It's so gross. And I don't want to participate in that. I want to be around positive people that have cool shit happening in their lives because I have cool shit happening in my life. And I want to share that and I want to learn from them and I want us to grow and do better together. I don't need to go out with somebody who's going to gossip and suck me into that. It's just not what I feel good doing. So you can identify those people and be around more of the ones that inspire you. So wrapping up today, some key takeaways for you. Decluttering your physical and digital space and your mental space will create clarity and focus in both your life and your business. And when you organize your life, put some simple systems in place. When you hear the word system, don't freak out. Like it has to be this whole complex software that all talks to each other. It's like, no, a system could be how you get your groceries every single week, how you're automating the things that you use on a consistent basis. Like every 3 months, you need paper towels. You go through every 3 months paper towels, and you just set that as something you're going to need. You're always going to need garbage bags. You're always going to need paper towels. You're always going to need, for the kids, like a certain food that they eat. They like to eat these frozen pizzas, and there's 4 in a box, and they'll eat in 2 weeks, they'll eat 4 pizzas. So every 2 weeks, you need to have these pizzas. That's a system. Just set it up to be automated so you do not have to think about it. So organizing your life will set the foundation for running your business, your PR agency, with less stress and allow you to make more impact. And simplifying distractions will let you prioritize the work and the relationships that align with your vision of success, that will bring you that energy and excitement and passion for your work and your life that we're all working towards. So, quick call to action for you. Start this year off right by clearing out one thing that's holding you back. Is it your overflowing email inbox? Is it a messy, cluttered workspace? Is it multiple folders or multiple notepads with notes everywhere, notes app on your phone, and all of these things are written in different places and you don't feel a cohesive one spot, like a repository for all of the things you need to remember? So yeah, you wrote it down and it's out of your head, but if it's not in a way that you, like a system you can process and remember what you need to remember and act on it, yeah, you cleared it out of your head, so you think it's, done and, handled. But if you can't remember where you put it and you don't actually act on it, then you aren't going to remember. Is it a nagging mental to-do, a busy, cluttered desk? Is it, I think, really focusing on the decluttering aspect and one thing at a time? Where's the first place I would look for this? Would it occur to me if I needed this that I already had it? Get up and move it there now. Eliminate trash. Just declutter as much as you can so that your clothes can slide on the hangers in your closet. There, you can shut the drawers with ease. Like if you're I promise you are not wearing all of your socks. I promise you. You don't have to hang on to them. If they're in good shape, donate them. If they don't have holes and they're not scuzzy, donate them. You don't need so many things in your drawer that prevent it from opening and closing. That stresses me out. I just want it to glide and close and be easy. Everything should feel easy. To make it easier, I've actually created a 2025 New Year Success Workbook. It's totally free and it will help you clear space, align your goals, and set yourself up for success. And it's really packed with these prompts that we've shared with you and others that will give you the action steps designed to help you kick off the year with intention, focus, and the mental flexibility and freedom to be your most clear-minded, creative, and decluttered self. And you can grab your free copy right now, get it right easily for totally free. Just give me your email and it'll get an instant download to this really cool workbook, generationacademy.com/end of year. And I just want you to remember, success in PR isn't just about landing placements. It's about, to me, and I hope you share this probably while you're here, building a business that will support the kind of life that you love and build a business that you're proud of, that you find energy working in. You're not dreading the client interactions or talking to your team or, the monthly reporting, whatever the thing is that you feel like you're maybe dreading. You've got to find a way to handle that so that you can take those challenges out of your work and only focus on things you truly love, outsource other things to people who are probably better at it. I learned a long time ago, there are people on my team way better at so many aspects of me running this business than I even am. I've identified that. Yay me. No, they're great and they handle it and just make my life so much better. And I want you to have the work-life integration that I was seeking those 20 years ago when I left law and started my PR agency. I'm here to help you get it. And that starts very simply with decluttering your business, decluttering your life, your physical space, your mental clarity, creating some simple systems, and, building a business that you are proud of. And we are with you every step of the way. You've got this. Go out, crush it this week. I'll be crushing it too, and I'll see you soon.